just spent 4 days carving a rock the size of your mom's SUV, and there's only 2 million more to go. It's 100 degrees, your shirt's soaked, your hands are shredded from pulling ropes, the stone weighs 2.5 tons, and the sled you're dragging it on? Yeah, it's jamming into your foot again. You don't even get shade unless you count your own shadow at noon. You're not a slave. They keep saying that like it helps. But you were forced into this during flood season when your farmland became a swamp. So now you're here. Welcome to Pyramid Life. You live in a cramped labor camp. Rows of dusty barracks with about 2,000 other sweaty dudes. There's bread, beer, and something they call meat if you're lucky. You'll get copper tools that poison you slowly and medical huts that smell like regret. If you're really unlucky, you'll be the guy buried under a block that just slipped. But hey, at least you get to leave graffiti on Pharaoh's walls. That's job satisfaction, right? Your shift? 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. Carving one block every 4 days if you're good. That's about one Instagram post per slab. But no one's liking this. Your crew, about 40 guys, works under a foreman who's yelling because someone dropped a chisel. Again, you drag stones using sledges and ropes soaked in water to reduce friction, which is ancient Egyptian for slightly less hellish. Doesn't help much. Mostly you just ruin your back. You breathe in limestone dust all day, cough your ribs out at night, and work with arsenic-laced copper tools. So now your stomach's turning flips, and no one can tell if you've got food poisoning or heavy metal poisoning. Either way, lunch is a mess. But don't worry, there's a medical tent. It has beer. That's about it. You're part of a gang. That's not slang. That's official. Teams had names like the Friends of Khufu or Drunkards of Menkaure. You even leave your mark on Pharaoh's tomb with graffiti. Congrats. You're in ancient Egypt's first construction frat. And yeah, even though your joints are disintegrating, there's weird pride in it. You're building something eternal. That's the pitch anyway. Still, sometimes even pride runs out. One group of tomb workers straight up went on strike when the state delayed their grain rations. They marched to officials and said, "We're not going back until you feed us." So yeah, the world's first labor protest, not unionized steel workers. Pyramid dudes, respect. You'd think building a wonder of the world might come with health benefits. Nope, most pyramid workers didn't make it past their mid-30s. That's not retirement. That's dying with stone dust in your lungs and blisters in your soul. Excavated skeletons show arthritis in the spine, broken limbs that never healed right, and tooth abscesses so bad they probably begged for a hammer just to end it. And those mysterious stomach bugs people kept getting, turns out they were probably being slowly poisoned by copper and arsenic. Long-term exposure led to nausea, diarrhea, and a whole bunch of quiet, poison-filled deaths in your bunk. Your boss still yelling. The pyramid still not done. And here's the kicker, you probably never even lived to see the thing finished. These projects took decades. You worked until you collapsed, and someone else got to chisel your legacy. But if you were lucky, and your bones didn't snap like a dry reed, you might have earned a decent burial. Some builders were found with pottery, meat offerings, even headrests carved with care. It wasn't royal-level stuff, but it wasn't a mass grave either. In ancient Egypt, that meant something. You mattered, kind of. Just not enough to stop them from sending in the next guy to take your spot as soon as you dropped. You left your name behind, scratched onto pyramid walls like ancient job site graffiti. Because nothing says legacy like a dusty flex on limestone. That's the closest thing to a resume you'll ever have. You didn't choose this job. You didn't get rich. You didn't even get to brag about finishing it. But you hauled rocks, carved stone, coughed up dust, and died building a tomb that tourists now selfie in front of. The pharaoh, he gets a monument that lasts 4,500 years. You got diarrhea, joint pain, and a burial pit with your name misspelled. And if they remembered you at all, they spelled your name wrong. And yet, historians now say you weren't a slave. You were part of a national project. You got rations. You had a team. You mattered. Just not enough to make it to the credits. So next time you're stuck in traffic or staring at that 3 p.m. spreadsheet, thinking your job is a soul-crushing hellscape, just remember, you could have been in the desert, shirtless, pulling 2 tons of limestone uphill with a stomach full of barley beer and regret.